So we're here getting started in our day.
And we are going to Grandma Denny's bear picture.
Oh yes, we have a bear picture that was left behind from Grandpa Denny.
And he didn't got it.
That's right. So we're either going to have to deliver it or mail it. And I spent hours making him a gallon of apple cider, had it in the refrigerator, and then forgot to give him among all the chaos of what was going on. So little boys are hanging out in their room this morning. I have the TV down in the bedroom right now, and I just can't watch PBS and and have that mush in my brain all day long. So I just had my cereal and had my coffee, so baby's having his morning milk and nap. And little boys are supposed to be getting dressed, cleaning up the room, and playing Wii.
I need a sausage, a milk, I need my mommy a dog. And
So I have the funniest thing to tell you. This morning, Bethany and I were sitting here on the couch together, and she asked me if I had another baby in my belly. Which is funny because I am not looking pregnant. I've pretty well lost my belly and lost the weight. I actually weighed myself this morning. I'm doing really good. It's not something that is on my mind, and I'm not thinking about it, but I'm wearing my old clothes. And this one pair I put on was a little bit snug, but they're just cut different. So I have 13 pounds to lose. No, 12 pounds to lose.
But that's okay.
I have 12 pounds to lose to get to where I was, and I've been feeling really good, but my brain's been really foggy, and I'm feeling like it's not good for me to drive with a carload of kids, and I can't seem to really get rid of it. I'm sleeping fine, and baby isn't awake a bunch during the night. I just don't have that moment in a day to have some quiet. I hope this is picking up in the background. 3 boys are yelling over a Wii and squealing, and Bethany, and then the baby cries. So it is enjoyable for me to go out and feed the animals, and I think that's a lot of it. I haven't had that. It's like therapy. So especially after a chaotic week of, company coming on different days, back to back. And now my daughter's coming on the weekend with her kids, and we're going to have them over for a visit. I thought they'd like to come and pick apples and kind of clean up the rhubarb patch before we get a frost. So the kids and I are all outside this afternoon. We got a little bit of a late start today. That happens. Bethy's feeding the cats today. So if you've seen the videos before, these are our barn cats. And they were left behind. Well, the first calico cat here, we call her Grandma Cat, she was left behind by the previous owners with several other cats. And these are hers and her sister's offspring. And some of their offspring. Oh, yes. So here, this is what's going on in the barn. We have got some hay. This is called the dry floor. You can park tractors and stuff in here. But this is the hay that he cut from the waterway. And it kind of looks like straw right now because the door is off its track. So the sun shines in here and it's kind of bleaching this out a little bit on the top layer. But when you get inside of it, it is green, green, green. It is the nicest stuff. So I have plenty of hay storage up there. This is all last year's hay that we're feeding the cows. Right now we're kind of giving them the first cutting because of the baby being born. It never did get in the barn, and it's out there covered with plastic. And yeah, the plastic never stays. It's good for a day, and that's about it. So I don't recommend that. So here's the barn piggies. Give you a little quick update and glance on them. I've been having all kinds of trouble with my water barrels. So Tracy, if you're watching, let me know what you're doing, because this winter this barrel froze and actually got pinholes through it. So right now I patched it the day before yesterday, with JB Weld for doing water repairs. I actually used the same stuff that I had for my dishwasher, and I missed a spot, so I've got some water in here, which is really bad for these bottom bales. So those are no way to get to them. They're just going to be crappy bales, so they'll get used for bedding. I have been cheating. We ran out of straw, and I've been giving the pigs hay for bedding, and they love it. They actually chew it up and spit it out. But this barrel, I actually had to get a new gasket for it. It was leaking. And I don't know if you can see back there, there's a black bowl. I tried to give them that as a substitute in between, and it lasts 2 seconds. We had 3 of them in here. So those are the Tamworth piggies. Bethy loves the kitty cat. That's Grandma Cat she's petting. Grandma Cat was such a wild cat. It took her oh, Bethy, please don't kiss the kitties. Yucko. Yuck. Bethany, come on. Let's go see how the boys are doing. So Trey got out this red dolly the other day, and he figured he could move bales of hay with the red dolly easier. Come on. We're going over to the cows. So the boys are feeding the cows. The boys are supposed to be feeding the cows. Jack has a hard time sticking with his work. If you have a way to motivate him, please tell me. Here's the duckies. We are down to 6 females out of 32, I think. 33 ducks. I counted them a couple days ago. I forget. So Jack likes to sit down and take a break. Dad's got some materials here to build a shelter for the cows, and he hasn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll ever get to it.
I hope he doesn't, because then our bench will be gone.
Your bench?
Yeah.
You know what? You can sit on a bale of hay. So Jack, how about you get those cut so we can get these guys fed? They're all sitting and waiting.
No.
They have their pasture, but they sure do like their bales of hay. Hey, everyone on YouTube is going to know that you're sitting down and not doing your work, young man. This is evidence right here, Dad and everybody else in the world. Jack likes to sit down.
Yep.
You need to get up and cut those so that he can feed them.
They're cut.
Great, get up and help. Go, Jack. Jack, be a winner. Every day we try to set goals, and the kids get these guys fed and started with 3 or 4 bales of hay to start. And then they have their pasture. But like this one over here, the boys, she is feeding a baby, and look at how skinny she is. They are starving her, and that's showing up way worse on camera. Jack, if you could see what I see on camera, that is terrible. They've been skipping some feedings. You can't see it now because I'm not on her. She is feeding the baby, and her bones are sticking out. I can see her ribs. She needs to get some fat on her. And it's really hard because she's in with all these boys, and everyone is competing for the food. So we've got some thistle out here that are real tall, and that's a problem with seed, but you just can't get out there. So there's little baby Clover. She's doing real good. Dolly's being a great mom to her. Here's Diesel. He's gotten huge. The 2 of them tend to kind of hang out together, and they hang out with Flower a lot, which is their grandma. Grandma and great-grandma. But you can see their size comparison between a male and a female. They have the same father, and their mothers are mother and daughter. So Diesel is her uncle, if you were to think of it in human terms. Your fidget spinner? Oh, we're not doing fidget spinners out on the farm. So we're gonna... We've got some more of that leftover food that we're feeding the pigs today. We had a bunch of bags of rice and a little more pasta left to cook up for them. So I mixed in 1 last jar of mayonnaise, and they're getting fed. But see, these guys, they just They line right up if you do it in line. If you make it in a pile, everyone's not getting food. So I try to teach the boys to feed them in a line. Here's my husband's old corn trailer. He picked this up for like $400 or $500. And he moved it from the driveway over here. I said, I'm not hauling all this stuff all around. The trouble is, this is not a good safe ladder. Bethy, you can help. Hand her your fidget spinner, please. She's a nice little girl and she wants to play while you work. Thank you. That's way better. So I've been having him go up there. You see he's got his feed shovel. And I had this crate from brooding the chickens. And he fills this up for me so that we can give the cows a few buckets of corn with each feeding. And then with the pigs, we're actually slopping it. You fill up a bucket about 3/4 full, and then you fill it with water so it softens it. And then they're able to digest it and absorb the nutrients. If you just give them hard corn, they just kind of poop it out, and it gets all left behind and wasted. So they're not getting a full belly and full nutrients from it. Start throwing, guys. Show these guys on YouTube how you can throw hay. So this is Dolly right here. What's that? Murdoch's been getting fat. Yeah, that's Dolly right there who just did the circle. She's the mother to Clover. She's doing real good. She's being a good mom. So we'll go up and go check on the pigs. I wanted to show you, you know, how I try to do everything and not everything gets done. My rhubarb has been untouched because my freezer is super full, so I've just been letting it go. And this is what my daughter's going to come over. She's going to pick all this out and fill up her freezer. My pumpkins. There are pumpkins in here. I just decided to try to do the straw bale method with composting bales that had already been a couple years old. I think these bales were 2 or 3 years old. The more composted the bale, the better they did. So I actually got a couple of little pumpkins here. That's a little pumpkin there. We have 2 here that are green. They're hard to see. But I think there are 15 pumpkin plants here, and we ended up with about 5 pumpkins. This is the former chicken area and where the ducks have been in the past. He did not mow it the last 2 mowings, and boy did that ragweed take off, and it stinks when you mow it, so he did not want to go over it. The weed whacker will not go through those stems. They're too thick. And he's going to have to just put a mask on and go over it the best he can with the lawnmower, but he was worried about my pumpkins because he didn't know where they were at. So, in relation, like there's the pine trees, the hawks like to fly from this area here, and occasionally the trees right over here. And they were slowly picking off a duck at a time. That's why we moved them over to the main barn where the hen house had been. You can hear those roosters. They're still alive, and boy, they wake us up. They're out there soon as the sun comes up, sometimes even before. It's terrible. So my mom showed up the other day, and she wondered why we weren't coming out when she was honking her horn, and then she said she was knocking on the door. Her horn is a rooster crowing. I don't know why she thought I would ever have heard that with all these roosters. And then her horn got all the roosters crowing. They were making all kinds of noise. So here's a second grain trailer that we have, and this one's here on loan from my father-in-law. And this one is filled with corn too. Now, if you're a local person and you've been to our farm or your family, you know that this has been parked in my driveway for a while. It is time. I had to drive around this trailer all winter. Murdoch's setting up the roadside stand with the maple syrup. I tend to let him slack doing it during the week, but it has to be up on the weekend and it has to be up on Fridays, and today is Friday. I tell them it has to be up on Friday because people get paid on Friday, and we get a lot of customers stopping by on Fridays who are going away for the weekend and want to have a maple syrup pancake or waffle breakfast. And because we have it out by the road, they have to be with a buddy. So I'm Murdoch's buddy right now. So back to the driveway. He had another trailer parked here, and you can see this is supposed to be a 4-inch driveway. The previous homeowners managed to let them get away with a 2-inch driveway, and it has crumbled. It has cracked and crumbled, and because it was already in such disrepair, we did not seal coat it, and it's even worse. So it's time to get this either excavated or resurfaced. I don't quite know what he wants to do. Now we have the backhoe and the dump truck, so we'll get some quotes and find out what needs to be done with it. The tarps on the trailers do really well. They're not 100% foolproof. You do get a little rainwater here and there, and the trailer patches never work well. So I'm going to have a new driveway, hopefully before winter, because you can see we kind of drive through the yard. And in the film you usually see things come and go. These trailer doubles showed up during my pregnancy recovery. I know, look at this. It is September and we have leaves falling off the trees and they are changing. This maple tree in the distance is so bare already. So in relation to the road, here's the pigs. Reach in and get that black one flat, Murdoch. The water will just run right out of it. It's okay, she won't bother you. It's okay, Murdoch. I always tell them to be careful of these pigs, and I call these our monster pigs because they're so huge. They were like 550 and 650 pounds. He has trimmed down a lot. He was so overfed, and now he's doing much better. He has got so much like excess skin hanging from his belly. It's pressurized because the sun has heated it up. No, you're going the wrong way. Go towards you. Hold the hose, 2 hands. When that hose gets hot, it doesn't turn real well, does it? So I have these valves on the ends of the hoses. And this is a separate hose than what goes out to the barnyard, because pulling that hose over here is too much, and bringing 5-gallon buckets to pigs who are wanting to play in it is way too much work. The kids can't do it. Here we have baby in the front pack, and you're not supposed to bend over. So I keep a garden hoe here because they like to flip their waters. She wants to play in it, so I always let her dump it out and then I refill it. And right here it's kind of fallen into a hole, Murdoch, so she's wanting to dump it. Go ahead and fill it back up for her. Now that she's got her wet spot, she always dumps it before Wilbur gets a drink, and he sticks his whole head in there and dumps it some more. It's so annoying. This is their main water container, and they've knocked it over, and it's too far out of reach to get with the garden hoe, so they'll roll it this way during the day. They've dumped their trough over. Silly pigs. They're a lot of work. They're actually kind of easy to take care of, but for the boys, they can't manage it. We gave them a little bit of hay over here. They went 2 days off of the corn and they were eating scraps. So I gave them a little fresh hay to pour the scraps on. That's enough, Murdoch. It's just running out. It's running out of the crack in the side of the bowl. That's good. Thank you. Good job. And I keep this bin here. It's just covered with a tarp, but it's an old fuel tank. And we fill that up when we've got dry grain. I usually do a mix of oats and beans for them. And there's the shut off. Go turn off the hose, buddy. And we keep the strawberries on the deck right now, but I have another garden hose hookup on the other end of the house so they don't have to pull the hose across. And that's it for Murdoch. Here's the apple orchard. We tend to take a 5-gallon bucket out there and clean up apples for them. In my life, what I do, I left Jack and went up front and made the video about the pigs in the driveway. And Jack was sent this way 5 minutes before. So Trey and I, with our handy little yellow trailer, are gonna go fill up some buckets of apples from the ground because I don't need to feed the deer. So Bethy has asked for pancakes for her dinner tonight. And usually I do homemade pancakes because I like to put in it our whole wheat flour. And I'm sure Bob's Mill probably has some whole wheat pancake mix, but I haven't really looked yet, and that's not a product that I normally buy. I think it's called Bob's Red Mill or something like that. So, Bethy's having pancakes, and we are cheating with Hungry Jack pancake mix, and we are just all wanting some comfort food. It's been starting to get a little cooler, and like you saw with the leaves on the ground up front, things are changing around here, and it just seems like fall is just coming right up so fast. And I know a lot of it is just because of the bad weather that we've been experiencing, like with that hurricane, leaving the Florida area and coming north. So tonight for dinner, I wanted to have some grilled mushrooms and some rice topped with ground beef. And I'm kind of cheating this time because I didn't get everything all together in the slow cooker, and it was just late in the day, so I had to put my ground beef in the sink to kind of unthaw it a little bit about an hour ago. So we'll use about half of this. Looks like this is almost 4 pounds. So you can quick thaw like how you do with a turkey your meat in the sink or in the microwave, and I don't like to do it in the microwave, and you don't stick the styrofoam in the microwave either. Bad, bad, bad. So what I'm doing is just adding a little hot water to the sink, and I turn it upside down so that it directly thaws with the heat of the water to get some of the cold. And you can do cold or hot water. Cold water is actually better than hot water, but I'm kind of rushing it. And I have just been kind of washing up dishes and keeping things going. The kids are on round 2 of feeding the animals for today, and it is 6:30 at night, so we actually haven't had dinner yet. But Bethy wanted pancakes, and when the kids went out to play about a half an hour ago, I just felt really hungry, so I made myself a pan of scrambled eggs and added some mushrooms to that, so that was really good. All this hungry baby does is sit and eat, and Mommy needed some more calories. He's sitting really good right now, which he really likes the new ceiling fan. If I have him buckled in, I can put him right on top of the counter, but I can't ever do that with Bethany around because I'm afraid she could topple him right over and tip him. So Bethy was on the counter a minute ago, so baby is sitting on the floor so he can watch everything. Hi. Hi. Little George is growing, growing, growing. We weighed him the other day and he's having a nice little weight gain. And keep that baby scale right out on the bathroom counter so that anytime I'm changing him or bathing him, I can put, oh, lost my pancakes. And then I can get a good weight on him real quick. Not really enough to do one more pancake. If you have a glass top stove, I will warn you, don't leave your pan in the same spot just because it's off, because it stays hot. I actually warped this pan a little bit, and I have a double burner griddle that was very expensive from Williams-Sonoma, and they won't warranty it because they said the excessive heat of it staying on the stove is what caused the warping on that one. This is just a cheap, like, wherever brand one and easily replaced. But this was my first ever pancake griddle. Oh, it's Martha Stewart. I'm surprised. So, this was from Macy's. And again, I'm sure it's not, it was me leaving it on the heat. Switching it from one burner. So, especially with Murdoch not liking a lot of the meals, he'll probably come in and have some pancakes when he's done with his chores. So we're just kind of wrapping things up for the evening, and we're just trying to kind of have a chill night because it's been a long week. It's been kind of a frustrating day today, and we're just going to sit around and be friends now. Would you like some pancakes?
Yes.
Here, have some butter. In our house, we use real butter. We do not use margarine. It is great in flavor, and you don't have to use as much of it. Okay, you can have some more pancakes.
Yay.
And yes, they're pancakes in our house. We don't refer to them as hotcakes. Right? Not hotcakes. Pancakes. Betsy got started. So one last little snippet before we say goodnight. Little George has a little awake time every day, and it's usually about twice a day, but it's always just before bed. And he's very interested in seeing everything. So yeah, usually around dinner time and around bedtime. Hi. So I've got a little basket of laundry here. I've already folded most of it, but yeah, the boys came through and kind of unfolded some things, and we're just getting wrapped down. I tried to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's for a little relaxing last night, and I didn't really get to watch it well. A lot of little kids making a lot of noise. My TV in my bedroom's broken, so I've been kind of hanging out in here with them and supervising while I get baby to sleep. And he's finding he prefers to sleep on a bed over his little bassinet. So I have to stay with him to get him to sleep and then transfer him. Oh, big bird. Cute. I actually ended up eating, skipping my ground beef thing, and I'll save that for tomorrow, and having a couple pancakes, because after I had the eggs, it really helped to fill me up a bit. So, the kids came in. Bethany ate 3 pancakes. I just can't believe it. And I remember they had some smoked sausage in the refrigerator, so I cooked that up for them. So we're going to tuck this little guy in for night, watch our Breakfast at Tiffany's, and just have a good rest of the night. He goes to bed an hour or two before everybody else, so it gets kind of things quieted down. And then the guys can come in here and read books before they go to bed, but I just try to get them cleaning up their toys in the living room at night. And then when they come in here, we just use the closet lights with the doors open to keep things quiet for baby. And Bethy usually comes in anywhere from an hour before the boys to the same time, or she ends up she falls asleep with her dad a lot. She likes to cuddle with him because he's gone all day long, and in like 2 seconds she's out. So it's always a nice relaxing night. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching.